Hi, welcome to the second part of section 2.1. And this is how to write decimals as fraction. So we're going to start with saying how are we going to write negative 0.26 as a fraction. This actually turns out to be a little easier than converting fractions to decimals. So take 26 and we put it over 100. And we know to put it over 100 because you have the tens place here and you have the hundreds place here. So 26 goes over 100. Now this we can simplify, and we can simplify to 13/50. We just divided the top by 2, the bottom by 2, and then the top by 2. We ended up with 13/50. Okay, you guys can try it on your own and then come back to me. Negative 0.7. 0.125, negative 3.1, and negative 10.25. So solve those four and then come back. Okay, welcome back. So 0.7 ends up being 7/10, negative 7/10, because we have one number in the tenths place and nothing in the hundredths place. And 7/10 is about as simplified as we can get it. 7's a prime and it doesn't go into 10, so negative 7/10. This ends up being 125 thousandths. Again, tens place, hundreds place, thousandths place. So 125 over 1,000. And it turns out that you can divide 125 into 1,000 and you end up with 1/8. 125 goes into 1,000 8 times. When we convert a decimal that has a number to the left side of the decimal point, that 3 gets made into the whole number part of a mixed number, and this becomes negative 3 and 1/10. Can't be simplified anymore. This one we take negative 10 and we take the 25 and we put that over 100. And we know that 25 goes into 100 4 times. We end up with negative 10 and 1/4. Okay, let's try. Okay, in our third example, we are going to order some rational numbers on a number line. And we're going to start off with fish. And we're going to have an angular fish. And he lives negative 13/10 below the surface. And then we have a squid. And our squid lives negative 2 1/5 below the surface. And we have a shark. And he lives negative 2/11 under the surface. And we have a whale. And our whale lives negative 0.8 below the surface. So in order to find out where each of these guys live below the surface of the water, when we have decimals and fractions that are in different denominators, really it's almost impossible to figure out where they go on a number line. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a number line. And remember, I said that number lines don't have to have 0 in the middle. In fact, all of these numbers are negative, so we're going to put 0 way out here. And then we're going to label them. We're going to have label them by negative 0.4. So this will be negative 0.8. This will be negative 1.2, and this will be negative 1.6. This will be negative 2.0, and if we extend our number line and we're out this way, we have negative 2.4. So let's convert all of these into decimals. So this one ends up actually being, let's see here, we take 10 and we divide it into 13. That goes in 1 time, 10 3 left over. 10 goes into 33 times. So this ends up being negative 1.3. Negative 2 and 1/5. We did 1/5 the other day on the board, so we're going to remember that is negative 2.2. And negative 2/11, if we divide 11 into 2, remember we can't, that goes in 0 times, so we extend that, so we extend this to here. I put the 0 in the wrong place. My cold is affecting my math. Okay, so 11 goes into 20 one time. Get 11. And that ends up being 9. So we carry this out, 0. This becomes 90. 11 goes into 98 times. So we get 80. Actually, yeah, 88. And we get 2 left over. And you'll notice that this is probably going to become repeating, and indeed it is. So this becomes negative 1.8 repeating, and this is 0.8. Okay, so now we can start labeling this. Our anglerfish is at 1.3, so 1.3 ends up being somewhere here. So this is our anglerfish. And then we have our squid, which is at 2.2, which is probably out here somewhere. So this is our squid. And our shark is at negative 1.8. And he, so let's see here, 0.2 would be there. So he's probably hanging out right about here. He's pretty close to the surface. And then our whale is right here. So the trick to all of this is to convert all of your fractions into decimals. The question on your own is, the elevation of a dolphin is negative, oops, I'm probably under my picture, negative 1/10. So where does 1/10 end up? So I will pause the video, you figure it out, and when I come back, we'll talk about it. Okay, welcome back. So negative 1/10 ends up being negative 0.1. We know this from converting decimals to fractions, all that kind of thing. No, fractions to decimals, they're in tenths. So 0.1 is actually way back here. So our dolphin ends up being here. So good luck doing this, and I'll see you in class.